Do you think that this is the most controversial election year yet? Because on this poly market, which I actually didn't know that was a thing, it is 67% Trump, 33% Kamala.
This could get people upset. This will get someone mad. I want you to say one positive thing about Kamala Harris, and I want you to say one positive thing about Trump.
Homie doesn't sleep.
So now I want you to say something negative about both. If you're a Trump supporter, go buy someone a coffee who's a Kamala supporter. If you're a Kamala supporter, go give a Trump supporter a hug.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite podcast.
The number one podcast
in the entire
Christian world.
Christian globe.
Christian world.
Is this your favorite podcast? I hope so. I know there's a lot of options out there now, but thank you for sticking with us every Tuesday. I'm Jeanine. This is my husband, Kaleb. We are the Wards.
We are also matching today with our Uggs.
Yes.
I mean, this is goals right here. Come on.
I know, a couple goals right here.
If you're not watching, you gotta watch.
You should watch.
If you don't watch the podcast, you don't get, it's not as good.
It's so much better when you watch. I love watching podcasts.
Yeah.
Also, I have a fun little ponytail in right now that I just want you guys to see because I just think it's really fun.
Real quick.
Yes.
Right now, like as we're talking.
Yes.
Today is
Election day.
Today's the day that has been on the calendar for the last couple of years. Well, I guess it's always been on the calendar, technically speaking.
It's true. Do you think that this is the most controversial election year yet?
Yeah.
Because I thought Hillary versus Trump was bad. But do you think this is more controversial than the last one?
Yes. I do think this is the craziest season. It's like The Bachelorette. You know, it's always crazier each year. But I think it's crazier because no one knows what's going to happen. Right. I think we've never had such a split. I mean, it is like 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, currently the polls are tracking that it's pretty evenly split.
Well, there's some polls that say Trump's going to win, by a large margin.
Well, I saw one today.
There's some that say Kamala's going to win by a point or two, and so we don't really know what's going to happen.
I saw one today that was 60-40 Trump, and so I was like, oh, okay, it's not totally a landslide, but that's not true, apparently.
I don't think anyone knows. I think what you might be reading is there's like what's called gambling markets.
Let me see.
So there's what's called a polymark, I think. And it's like they have Trump 67%. It's like the amount of people who've bet on Trump outweighs the amount of people who are betting on Kamala. So like the gambling market is in favor.
Oh, polymarket?
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
So that's not a poll. That's like Vegas. It's like a gambling market. So the percentages of people that are betting on Trump are higher.
Yeah, because on this poly market, which I actually didn't know that was a thing, it is 67% Trump, 33% Kamala.
Yeah. So, and we may not know. I mean, if you think I've heard some reports that said we may not know till Saturday. Oh. It's gonna get crazy. It pisses me off that we live in 2024 with the technology that we have. We should know who the president is today. I get it's a lot of people voting, but the longer we go, the more like people are just going to have questions and we're going to see more fighting.
Right.
I just think we should have this figured out quicker. It's like there's no reason why this should get drawn out till Saturday. Like these places need to figure their stuff out.
Well, did you see that the ballots were getting burned?
That happened in Washington.
In Washington.
Yeah, they don't know who did it though.
Yeah, I mean, of course not, but that's like just crazy. It's like those mail-in ballots are sometimes I don't feel like they're like guaranteed that your ballot's going to get there.
I mean, I don't know.
I will say this is a crazy time, especially when you're watching on social media. You're seeing more people become outspoken, and when they do, on both sides, people are throwing out hate and all sorts of mean,
dude, it's crazy,
belittling words. I mean, I can't imagine speaking to someone like that. It really blows my mind. Like, truly, regardless of your political beliefs, I would never say such like slanderous, unkind words and like call you names. And it genuinely blows my mind that this is so normalized in America. And I mean, I
Yep.
get it. Everyone has one of these things in their phone, one of these phones in their hand. And so you're just behind your phone typing away and there's no consequences for it. There's truly not, unless Instagram like takes your account down. But it blows my mind that people are just so hateful.
Well,
And of course, we're allowed freedom of speech, of course. But like, I don't know. I just don't think that's like a
It's-
godly thing to do.
it's because both sides think the other side is the enemy.
Yeah.
And so when both sides think they're, the enemy, you're going to see. But there's a lot of people who, we have friends who are Democrat, we have friends who are Republicans on both sides, like who are on far extremes.
Yeah.
We're friends with both. And I heard something good. JD Vance said this in a recent, I think it was a rally or some type of town hall that he did. And he said something that I haven't heard a lot of politicians have said. He said that do not let politics let you, and I get it happens, but don't let politics ruin relationships that you've had for a long time, like family members, people who've been in your life for like it's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
But the issue is that when one side is saying that the other side is the enemy, you start to look at your fellow neighbors, your family members as the enemy. And so I think it's just better to be in a position of like, I fervently disagree with you, like wholeheartedly, but I still love you.
Yeah.
And respect my opinion on this, but also be open to maybe having your mind change. But this is gonna get crazy.
It's going to get crazy.
Whatever happens here, dude.
When you said love your neighbor, it's like, it kind of makes sense why the Bible says literally love your neighbor. Because, especially in election year, you see everyone have their signs outside their house stating who they're voting for. And I literally had a friend come to me and she's like, literally when I see my neighbor's sign, it makes me so angry. It makes me want to throw eggs at their house. And that's the type of stuff where you're like, no, that is literally my neighbor that I'm called to love and serve and bless regardless. And so you can disagree. Many of us disagree. You're going to disagree with us. I have maybe certain, but biblical beliefs that you don't agree with. I'm sure 100% there's things I've said on this podcast that you adamantly disagree with, and that's okay.
Yeah, like I said, I said a few weeks ago,
Halloween.
I think Halloween is kind of fun sometimes. I said that, and I got attacked because it was so personal to some people. All of a sudden, I was written off in their eyes because I had a disagreement. I wasn't in favor of like Halloween's the best thing ever, but I was like, I don't think it's a big deal if, you want to be a football player and, maybe get some candy. But it was like I violated the 10 commandments and I was a horrible, despicable person. And the way people were coming at me, it didn't make me want to change my mind. It honestly made me want to further revolt. And so when we look at our neighborhood right now, it's hilarious. It's like, a Trump sign goes out and then the next door it's a Kamala sign and the next door it's a Trump. And I imagine they don't talk to each other.
I'm
and
sure they're probably like I can't believe you.
It's so passive aggressive and it's kind of funny in some ways.
It's just sad, It's like sad.
But I'm here for it sometimes in the sense I'm here for people standing up. Like if you're gonna believe in something, like okay, like I kind of respect the people who are like we don't have a sign out in our front yard.
Yeah.
One, because people are crazy and I'm afraid to put a sign out. I also don't care that much to put a sign out.
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to just like being in a place where it's okay, we know this is going to be the president for the next 4 years. We can finally just like get on with it.
Right.
We can get on with our life.
The build up and like the anticipation and like the campaigns, like watching both campaigns, they're both just doing whatever they can. And it's interesting watching like the rallies.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Wait, hold on. And so, but I was just going to say really fast and just then we'll go to your question.
Okay.
When you're saying like when people were kind of like commenting mean things about you on the last video, the Halloween thingy, and you said it didn't change your mind. That's like mainly what I feel like when people send these hate comments and they're arguing in comments, like it's not changing someone's mind. I think ultimately what's going to change someone's mind is actually providing, facts or statistics and truth, but doing it in a loving, kind, caring way where you're not like, you're an idiot, you're an ignorant person for not knowing that. but genuinely explaining and having dialogue and conversation, I think that's what really helps. Those are the ones that bless me where I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And because I'm actually listening to like truth. So the Bible says the truth will set you free.
I got a question. And this could get you, this could get people upset. This will get someone mad, but I think it's good.
Okay.
I got 2 questions. First question is, I want you, maybe it's not a question, it's more of I want you to do something.
Sure.
I want you to say 2 positive things or 1 positive thing about each candidate. So I want you to say 1 positive thing about Kamala Harris, and I want you to say 1 positive thing about Trump. This is what I think needs to, I want to see more of in like debates. I saw one year they were like, it was Hillary Clinton versus Trump. And they asked Hillary Clinton, hey, say something nice about Trump. And then they told Trump to say something nice about Hillary. And it was so cool in that moment to see on a human to human level, like 2 people just like say something nice about each other.
Yeah,
so
that was interesting.
I think it'd be refreshing. Like, Jeanine, say something nice about Trump and then nice about Kamala.
Okay. I do feel like Kamala she does have a very kind way of speaking. I do think that. I think when she speaks, you can definitely feel like her passion. She does, it seems like she really cares. And I feel like she does sound like she's just very kind in her rhetoric. I think what is nice about Trump is like, despite all the hate and like obviously the assassinations, all the things, he just like perseveres. Like he's just like,
Doesn't quit.
He doesn't quit. He's like, I'm going to fight for this country. He's kind of like, whatever. I'm here to do my job. Like he kind of just is like, whatever to people.
Bro
because
hasn't taken a day off.
Yeah, no, homie doesn't sleep. I saw someone did like a day in his life or something. He literally went and spoke like 7 times in one day. I'm like, after like a 2-hour podcast, I am gassed.
Our grandparents could never.
No way.
Dude,
my dad's the same age as Trump. He could never.
Yeah.
My dad takes like 3 naps. No, he doesn't. He takes like 1. So I think, but they, both of them are flawed human beings.
Sure.
And that's the thing is like, I feel like on both sides, people always want to think that like, if you like Kamala or if you like Trump, that you think they're this like angelic angel who can do no wrong. They are sinners and people who still need Jesus and very much do not have it all together.
Yeah.
Just like we don't, you know?
So now I want you to say something negative about both. And I want to.
I can easily do this.
I want to do this too.
Yeah, no, I think you should. Okay. Trump, I just think sometimes he doesn't speak that great. I think sometimes I'm like, bro, why you got to say that? Like the name calling sometimes where I'm just like, dude, you didn't have to do that. Like, I think that's where I wish he did sound a little bit more presidential. I think JD Vance sounds really eloquent when he speaks. And then for Kamala, my negative is she just never answers the question. Like, I feel like she kind of uses the same phrases over and over.
Like the word salad thing.
Yeah, she doesn't usually just directly answer the question. And like, I've watched many of her interviews and you're just like, so what was the answer? Isn't there like a quote? What was the answer?
They both kind of do that. Trump calls it the weave, where he like does the weave thing.
Isn't that what all politicians do?
Kamala does it in a way where I'm like, she'll say something. I'm like, what'd you say?
No, literally everyone's like, what?
Yeah. Okay, my turn.
Okay, here we go.
I'll start with Trump. A negative thing. Okay, I got it. I think sometimes like, I don't really like it, you know, in athletes, if they're like the best basketball player in the world, I don't really like it when a basketball player gives it up for themselves and like, I'm the best player in the world.
Oh,
like, they just kind of like, are they're not afraid to hype themselves up and tell people that they're the best. And I think from like a humble way, I like it when athletes just let other people praise them for their good works or for their deeds. And so sometimes it bothers me when Trump he did something good or whatever, and he just has a way of sounding kind of arrogant in a way and a lack of humility. And so I would say that for like Trump, I just like wish sometimes, because there's some good qualities that he has, but sometimes when he does something good, he loses it for himself because I think of his lack. He like has to talk
about it.
Yeah.
Hold on, in which the Bible literally talks about this, where it says like, don't let your own praise come from your own mouth. Let it come from other people. Yeah, that's like in Proverbs too.
Yeah, and I can't imagine. He's been shot at once in the head. People have attempted to assassinate him so many times. They call him Hitler. They call him a fascist. They call him all these things. So like from his standpoint, he's probably just like, I have to give it up to myself because no one else will.
Yeah.
So I think that's his like.
They don't want to give him credit.
That's his reasoning behind it. But yeah, I just like wish he would let other people maybe hype himself up.
If you're excited about the holiday season like I am, let's chat about your kitchen. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, it's time to elevate your cooking space. Did you know that many cookware and appliances contain harmful forever chemicals? That's why I made the switch to Our Place. These beautiful mission-driven, female-founded products are not only stunning, but also PFAS-free. Perfect for creating delicious, healthy meals for your loved ones. Unlike traditional nonstick pans, Our Place features safe, toxin-free ceramic coatings, ensuring you can cook with peace of mind. November is my favorite time for cozy, home-cooked meals, and I'm always experimenting with new recipes thanks to their gorgeous cookware. I love how their pieces look on my counter. They're like kitchen art. Plus, their multifunctional designs have replaced my cluttered set, inspiring me to cook more. From their stunning cookware to innovative Wonder Oven, the stylish air fryer toaster oven combo that's also free from forever chemicals, you can feel confident in your kitchen. So, are you ready to transform your kitchen for the holidays? Visit FromOurPlace.com and use my code HEALTHY at checkout for 10% off site-wide. Plus, they offer a 100-day trial with free shipping and returns. Let's make this Thanksgiving a healthy and joyful celebration. Check out Our Place today at FromOurPlace.com and use code HEALTHY. That's FromOurPlace.com, promo code HEALTHY. Your kitchen and your health will thank you.
My one issue with Kamala is I just feel like sometimes she can come across as disingenuous. And we get mad at Trump, but he is being himself. And he tells you what he thinks, no matter if it's good or bad. Sometimes I wish she would just like break. I think she's in character mode. And I do think it's very nerve-wracking. I think she gets nervous a lot. But I just think that she's trying to
be liked.
I think she's trying to be liked and it's coming across as inauthentic. And I don't know. It feels like everything she's doing is approved upon behind the scenes, and they go, okay, go do that. Say that. Because they asked her a question like, what's your biggest weakness? And like, she wouldn't even really answer the question. It's like, just say what your weakness is.
Totally.
And so I think she would have a little bit more of Trump in her, where she would just like be herself and let us see those character flaws and don't like try to be so perfect. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be like an overly political answer versus just like give the people what they want to hear, you know?
Yeah.
And I think people are craving that authenticity, especially since Trump came in and was just like,
dude,
whatever.
You have to be authentic now.
But then with Trump, you're kind of like, okay, reel it in a little bit, bro. But I can see with that. Okay, the positives now of both.
What's the positives? Okay. Man. It's a good question because it's so funny. Even I'm answering these questions in a way to not get in trouble. So like, imagine how they feel when they talk. They're always trying to make sure they come up with the most perfect thing so they don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
I would say I'll start with Kamala first. I mean, she's an attorney general. I mean, you can't deny she had to go through the law school. She had to go past the bar. It's not easy being a lawyer.
No.
It's not easy becoming an attorney general. And so like, you got to give that up to her. You know, she was a prosecutor for like the biggest city, I believe, one of the biggest cities in America. And so like, yeah, that's a pretty
impressive,
good, accomplishment. And so I would say that for her. For Trump, I would say it seems like he loves his family a lot. Like it seems like, you look at some of his daughters and some of his sons, it seems like they're all pretty loyal to each other and like they have like a good cohesive family bond. And so it seems like he does like love his children a lot. And what's funny is Hillary Clinton said that. So I'm stealing one of her answers. When they asked that question to Trump and Hillary Clinton in 2016 to say something nice about each other, Hillary Clinton was the one who said that kids are a good representation.
Wow.
And that he did a good job parenting and loving his kids, and they all grew up to be amazing
Which
kids.
is so impressive because, like, we talk about this a lot on the podcast where, like, your home and your family should be your number one priority. And of course, like, they're leading the entire United States. Like, that's a huge priority. And sometimes your family's going to be neglected a little bit. But to still raise a good family in the midst of like all the craziness says a lot. And it's hard to be a parent, you know, like it takes a lot of time and dedication. And so that's really impressive.
What do you think of like, we've seen a lot of Christian creators. We've seen a lot of people support Trump openly. And we've seen Christian creators and a lot of people support Kamala openly. And yeah, how do you think people should respond to that? Do you think it's necessary that you come up on here and like tell people who you're voting for?
No, I don't.
Because I think a lot of people would watch this and go, just tell us who you're voting for.
I don't think it's necessary. Would it be nice? I'm sure, yeah. But I don't think anyone's required or nor owes anyone that explanation unless you're just genuinely so passionate about it and you want to explain why. Because obviously, like, who you vote for does explain a lot of your beliefs and your morals and just kind of your overall like viewpoints of the world. And so I'm sure people are just like dying to know so that they can either praise you or destroy you. But I don't think it's necessary. And if you decide to, that's like good on you. I think totally like that's your prerogative. And I'm not saying that I would never not do that. Like I would be open to down the road, but I just don't feel like sometimes it does more good. But the reason why I do think it can do good is if you actually do really genuinely bring truth and light to a situation that maybe someone's like in the middle and they're trying to figure out who to vote for and they don't know why they should vote for that person. Ultimately, like I've said before, like I just want to be someone that shares the hope of Jesus, shares the truth, because the truth is what will set you free. And I want to be a light in that. And I do think politics can play a lot into the gospel, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary for me to share my political viewpoints.
Yeah. Just because you vote for Kamala doesn't mean you hold everything that she's ever said and done. And just because you vote for Trump, it doesn't mean you agree with everything he said.
Right, which is impossible, I feel like.
And so, yeah, I think a lot of people, the reason why they don't speak out, and the reason why I think maybe you haven't either in some regards, is because you don't want people confusing that for like, and defining your character for who you're voting for or whatever. Because it used to be a place where like, if you voted for somebody, either way, in the Christian world, if you voted for somebody or in the secular world, you would get canceled and people would just like write you off. And so I think we're getting to a place where that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, and I do think I'm seeing more like creators and podcasters just speak out. And, you know, there's sometimes times where like I get frustrated about certain things I see on social media or things that are going on in the world. And I just want to be like, screw it, I'm just going to say it because like we are in a very like trying time and it's a pressing time where there's huge things on the line for both people, both sides. And so a lot of people are like, how can you be silent? And again, ultimately, like I'm still voting appropriately to what my beliefs are. We're chatting with our friends all the time about this. Like I'm still trying to use my platform for good, but I don't think that only talking about politics is the only way that you can use your platform for good. And that might be debated or people might disagree with me on that. But I'm not saying I will never not do that because there are times where I'm just so like, oh my gosh, how can I stay quiet?
When Trump was shot at, we talked about it. We were like, this is wrong.
Right, it's wrong.
But people got mad at us. They were like, why are you talking about Trump thing when everything that's happening in XYZ? And it's like, you get in trouble.
That's my point where
you can't win.
I was just going to say, like, you literally cannot win. And so it's almost just like, I'm going to focus on like what we do. This is not a political page. Of course, we're talking about this here. We're not a political page. Like we are not, I don't know, who's your podcast? Yeah. I don't know. Just a podcast that specifically talks about politics. That's not what we talk about. Mainly like I love to talk about my faith here and like help you guys with your faith. Cause I think the more that you grow in your faith, the more that you will be able to decide and look through the lens of the Bible and scripture, what would God stand for? And sometimes it can be confusing. There's pages that do really break that down that will help you guys understand that more. I don't think that this is the page for that, but I'm still going to try to always speak on truth and do the best that I can. But I don't want to get my main goal of this page mixed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
But some people may not like that.
Yeah.
Because they want me to say and have an answer for everything. But that's the problem is I think like they expect influencers and public figures to react and respond to absolutely everything. And it's just not possible. And of course, there's certain things you should totally speak up for. But then sometimes it's just like, wow, I can't speak up about literally everything. There's always something going on every single day, you know?
That being said, Jeanine, who are you voting for? No, I'm kidding. That being said, who do you think's going to win?
I literally could not tell you. Sometimes I'm like, it's Trump. Then sometimes I'm like, it's Kamala. Literally, I do not know. Like, I think it's going to be so close. And we're going to have to find out today.
I'd be very surprised if Trump did not win.
I feel like the polls are leading more towards Trump, but then again, I have no idea. Like, I don't know.
I'd be very surprised.
I see a lot of Kamala signs outside. So
I do too. I see more Kamala signs outside than Trump signs. But I also think a lot of people who are voting for Trump, like, don't put signs out. But I also, it's going to be, I think, the mail-in balloting, like who voted early, like who got out there and voted.
Already voted.
I think will result in the winner. But we actually, I think, are going to go to Oklahoma.
Why?
So we'll be in Oklahoma today because I'm technically still registered in Oklahoma. So I think we're going to drive to Oklahoma so I can vote, which we're just doing our job as Americans.
I did early voting. Turn up.
Yeah, I don't think you were as big into politics.
Yeah, I definitely think in the last 4 years, I think especially being 30, I am like, okay, I want to know what's going on. And I do watch videos from both sides because I'm very curious what both sides are saying, Fox News, CNN. Like, I love watching the debates. I love watching, I mean, my family is my family grew up where my dad was constantly telling us, be informed, know what's going on, because my dad didn't want us just like only living this happy-go-lucky life. And I do think that I do have a problem with people.
Okay.
This is actually kind of a hot take. I'm not saying that I know everything because it's very hard to constantly stay up to date with this type of stuff. Sometimes I don't know the perfect statistics or I don't know all the policies and how they play out. Like, I try my best to learn, but I don't know if I agree with people who stick their head in the sand and they're like, it's too overwhelming, too confusing. I don't want to know. Just count me out.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I'm like, I just don't think that's what God wants us to do. Like, I think as Christians, we have a duty to vote and to use our voices and to stand for truth. And I know people in my life that are like, it's too much, and they just don't want to do it.
I have a crazy stat. I'm going to pull it up. It's like,
I wonder how many people don't vote.
No, that's the stat. Let me find it.
And I'm saying there's someone I know in my life. I'll say she. She's going to vote, but she's just voting based off of like what other people are doing. And she was like, nope, I don't look at anything. I don't want to watch anything. It's very overwhelming. It stresses me out. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's super important to know what's going on. Like, there's been several times where I've been like, oh my gosh, did you see what happened? I can't believe this. And she's like, nope, I didn't see anything. I don't really want to watch that. And I get it. It can be very overwhelming, but I just think it's very important to like know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I agree with that. And I think it's important. Like, I said this in the last podcast when we talked about politics. There's these Jubilee videos, and they recently did one. It was like 50 Democrats versus 50 Republicans. I think it's super important to watch these videos and get both sides and see the argument and see the pressing points. And something that you said earlier, babe, was like, a lot of the times why people get so heated, and you said this earlier, is because it feels so personal. And the further that something is removed from you, the less you're going to care about it. So like, if you don't feel like an issue is really affecting your neighborhood, your lifestyle, that's where you're kind of like, whatever. So, that's why I do think it is important to like think about the people that maybe are underprivileged. They're not getting certain things that you're getting and you maybe are accustomed to. But it's helpful to see both sides, but also still like you still want to do your research and yourself and again, align it up to scripture.
Yeah. And it's such a privilege to not care.
Yeah.
And one day, a lot of people it's like maybe one day that you won't have that privilege anymore.
Yeah.
And so when people get comfortable and things are just easy and like, it doesn't matter to me who's president. One day it will. And so I can't find the study, but it was, I heard something online that said like most Christians don't vote.
Why is that?
Because it's passivity. It's people who go, I know who I serve. And there's some truth to this. Like, God's in heaven.
God's
I'm not
sovereign.
living for this world. I don't care who the leader is, and we're going to go to heaven one day. But it's the same fallacy argument to I'm going to die one day, so I'm not going to exercise. I'm going to die one day, so I'm not going to eat healthy. It's obesity is very prevalent in the Christian world. Like the statistics are just astonishing with how just high the obesity is amongst Christians, because I do think we sometimes can be passive and be lazy and just go, okay, I don't need to work out because I'm not living for this world.
Or it's the mentality of like, God cares more about my heart than my body. But I'm like, no, God also told you like your body is in temple and you're supposed to honor God with the temple.
Yeah.
And I do feel like that's so true. Like a lot of Christians, they are just kind of like, well, and I get it. The Bible also says to like honor your government. So they're kind of like, whatever, like God's my government. The person here is not my government. But I'm like, no, it is impacting you. It's impacting your neighbors and your children and whatever. So I do think it's important to vote.
So much.
But that's interesting that Christians are the least amount of voters.
Yeah. And it's funny because we Christians, like, I think make up most of America in a way of like, I think there's more Christians, like it's the number one, religion in America. I think more people identify themselves as Christian than non-Christian in America.
I think that's changing now.
You think is that true?
I think a lot of people are identifying as like, I was a Christian, now I'm leaving the faith.
Don't come to our podcast for stats because we just throw things out.
Sorry. No, but I remember hearing there was a statistic that most people would say they're a Christian, but they don't actually practice it. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. As we dive into November, a month of gratitude, let's take a moment to thank someone special in our lives. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or even your therapist. It's so important to appreciate those who support us. But here's something we often overlook: thanking ourselves. In this busy world, it's easy to forget that we're all doing our best to navigate life's challenges. So let's give ourselves a little love and acknowledgement this month. Therapy can be a powerful tool for this journey. It's not just for those facing major challenges. It helps everyone learn coping skills, set boundaries, and grow into their best selves. If you're thinking about starting therapy, I encourage you to give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online, making it convenient and flexible to fit your busy schedule. Just fill out a quick questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if you ever want to switch, it's easy and no extra cost. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/happyhealthy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/happyhealthy.
This could be on the hot seat. This could be a hot seat question for you.
Okay.
What's something that people would assume about you politically that's not true?
So growing up, I'm one of 7 kids. My parents are immigrants, didn't have a lot of money at all growing up. Didn't have health insurance, couldn't go to the doctor. Sometimes we needed assistance and it was like paid out of pocket, or my dad was just like, I just can't afford it. And thankfully nothing was like dire. Like, of course, if it was dire, we were going to go. I grew up needing government assisted insurance. And that was also partially like how I was able to cheer at SMU, because we were required to have insurance to be on the team. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, crap, like I don't have insurance. When I was at UT, I transferred there. I ended up getting college assisted insurance, which was so amazing. And then even now, like we are self-employed and we need insurance. I just believe that everyone deserves like health insurance. I believe everyone deserves to be able to be seen and to see a doctor if they have needs and it not be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not exactly sure what's like the perfect solution here, because I think it's really messy and it can increase tax dollars and all the things. Who's paying for it? Where does it come from? But that was something that I needed. Like my family needed that. I needed that to get through college. We're self-employed. We need that. Even to go to college, I had to apply for financial aid. And that literally saved me. I was able to get loans and get scholarships, and then they covered some things. And so I paid my way through college through some help from financial aid. And so I just believe that those programs are important and beneficial for lower income families, people that aren't as privileged. I didn't have any backup solution. There was no trust fund coming for me. Like I didn't have anything like that. And so that's where like I do believe it's super important to care about underprivileged people and people that deserve to be able to go to college and get health care.
Yeah. And your parents were immigrants, so you definitely have empathy towards, immigration into America.
Yeah.
But you also, it's funny because there's just so many things in life where if you take a particular stance or you maybe believed, they take that one belief in something and they throw you in like a camp.
Yeah,
You
it's very
believe
black
X,
and
so
white.
you are Y and you're Z, and it's just not true.
And I just don't think it's like that. I just don't think that every issue is super black and white. I think there's nuance to almost everything. Now, of course, I do believe there are certain issues that are black and white, right and wrong. But then there's some where I'm just like, I don't know the perfect solution. Like, I think that could be a good policy, and that also could be a good policy. And so sometimes it can be confusing, but that's why there's economists and politicians out there trying to make policies that need to get passed or that, it benefits certain people. And I think what's hard is like, it's not always going to benefit everybody. And that's what's like really hard about sometimes our culture.
All right, we might be canceled forever after that podcast.
This is the longest I've ever talked about politics like publicly. So
every time
hello.
we end one of these podcasts, I'm like, well, there goes our career.
It's like when you go on like a date and after the date ends, you're like, shoot, did I just mess that up? Is he going to call me?
Yeah.
That's how it feels. I'm like, are they going to still follow me?
Yeah.
Does he want to have a second date with me?
I would like to start getting more involved in it. I just think that it's very contentious, and you see people who are very involved in politics. It's like once you go in, it's like you almost have to go all in.
But again, the more that you give the people, the more they want.
Yeah.
It's true. Y'all can comment who you're voting for. I'm just curious. I'm curious.
Yeah, let us know.
If you feel comfortable, comment who you're voting for. And I'm just curious the demographic.
If you're voting for Trump,
why?
You have a place here. If you're voting for Kamala, you have a place here.
Yeah.
Like you have a place.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is for all people who, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I genuinely don't think you are a horrible human being if you are voting for Donald Trump. I don't think you're a horrible being if you're voting for, Vice President Harris. I just don't. Now, I might disagree with you.
Yeah.
I probably do disagree with you, actually. Actually, I know that I disagree with you.
What do you mean?
Yeah, on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
I disagree with people all over. But I'm just saying that, like, if you're voting for Trump, I'm sure I disagree with you on some things. If you're voting for, Vice President Harris, I know I disagree with you on some things. And that is the beautiful part about America.
Yeah, and hopefully that you can still be friends with people.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the point of our podcast and my goal was help you know Jesus more, help you grow in your life, help better your life. And ultimately, like, again, my goal is to reflect Jesus. I may not do that perfectly, y'all.
Yes, you do.
I know, but I'm trying. And I just want this to be still a place of peace, Like when I sat down on this couch, I don't like sitting down being like, oh my gosh, how are they going to roast me and flame me and cancel me today? Like, I'm just not, and I try not to be an overly like polarizing person. Really, my goal is just to hopefully help you guys grow in your life. This Thanksgiving season, find a way to deepen your faith by using these stunning Bibles from Hosanna Revival. Look how pretty this is. I absolutely love it. I have the ESV Study Bible. Each one is lovingly hand-designed, not only making them a beautiful treasure for your bookshelf, but also to accompany you in deepening your faith and in your spiritual journey. Hosanna Revival's mission is to excite people to engage in scripture by creating beautiful and intentional tools. So not only is this thing beautiful and it'll make you want to pick up your Bible, it doesn't remove any of the truth inside of it. And so it's beautiful, all while still having truth and hopefully encouraging you guys to want to read your Bible. And guess what? They have so many other amazing resources as well. They have beautiful notebooks, planners, devotionals, and even a 5-year prayer journal. I have one of these actually, and I absolutely love it. So you can accompany all these tools along with your Bible reading time. Again, here's what my Bible looks like, and I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. It's the perfect way to cultivate gratitude this season, so definitely check this out. And it also could be an amazing gift for someone this upcoming holiday season. So check them out and see what I'm talking about at hosannarevival.com. Use my code Jeanine15 for 15% off your entire order. Definitely check this out, you guys. We have been married almost a year next week. Yeah. What are we doing for our anniversary, babe?
We are going to a northern state.
We've both never been there.
We won't share yet, but not only is it our year anniversary, but I also accomplished something very near and dear to me.
You want to talk about it?
Let's talk about it in a few next podcast.
Yeah.
Where it's like official.
Solidified.
But it is solidified.
Yeah.
But, it's freaking exciting.
I'm super pumped. I'm really proud of Kaleb.
In 2 years.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in November now. There are 2 months left of the year. Your girl is about to start decorating for Christmas, baby. I am ready. Y'all, can you see me? I'm in this little jacket. I'm sweating, but no one has to know that. This is from Fabletics. They sent it to me today, and I was like, this is so cute. You know what I want to do, babe?
Move.
Well,
it's too hot.
Sometimes. Yeah, it's still hot here. Speaking of which, we're not moving for people that keep asking. Are we moving?
Maybe.
We might be, but like people think like, oh, I know for sure you're moving to Nashville. Like my publisher asked me today, she was like, can you just tell me in confidence? She was like, are you moving to Nashville? And I said, genuinely, I do not have an answer for you.
We don't know yet. We thought we were.
Yeah, for a second we thought we were.
There's something that happened that made us decide not to.
So if we were going to move, I said this on our Patreon, which go check it out because we spilled the tea there early. I said on our Patreon, there would have to be several things that would have to happen first before we pick up and move. Right now, we're staying here. We're planted. We're doing our thing. We definitely have some transitions coming up in the next couple months because we have some things coming, some things that Kaleb is doing that might change some stuff. So sorry we're being a little like ambiguous, but
sure,
we kind of have to be right now.
Yeah. It's
I'm
annoying
excited.
when we're ambiguous.
I know, I'm sorry to be ambiguous, but like I just don't want to say it and then it doesn't happen.
Sometimes it'll be hot outside and I'm like, why don't we just move to Oklahoma? Oklahoma, we could live in an amazing home.
Yo, that's crazy.
The houses you could buy in Oklahoma versus Dallas is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now Oklahoma's great, but is definitely not, it's different than Dallas.
Who here is from Oklahoma? Because
I bet you we have a lot of Oklahoma listeners.
I do feel like we have a lot of Southern listeners. A lot. Which shout out to y'all. We love the South.
Let us know if we should move to Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, I've been telling her, like, we could live on a golf course. You know, we could
Which isn't necessarily my dream. It's more your dream.
I would love to live on a golf course. But like our house would double in size and it would be cheaper.
It's literally cheaper and you get more space, more land. It's kind of insane.
It's like, why not?
Apparently Oklahoma actually has better weather than Texas.
It gets colder quicker.
You guys actually get like fall, winter. They get tornadoes.
Tornadoes are, besides people dying and houses getting destroyed,
That's horrible.
Tornadoes are kind of fun.
I just don't know what I would do in Oklahoma. Like cow tipping?
It's not just a farm town. It's like one of the biggest cities.
Oh, cut me from the farm boy. You always act like it's a farm town. Growing up, I grew up on a farm.
I did.
I push hay bales.
I grew up on a farm, but Oklahoma City, we wouldn't live there. We wouldn't live there.
Yo, I am not a farm girl. Like, you know people that are like, I want to be a trad wife and I want to live on a farm and have my chicken coop. I just don't think that's me.
You'll wear the animals, but you won't.
This is fake.
I'm just kidding.
This is fake Sherpa. No, I'm all about the trad wife. What about I think
trad wife?
Trad wife.
Sometimes Jeanine speaks in this like TikTok slang. I'm like, how old are you?
That was not TikTok slang. That was just me talking fast.
Trad life?
Baby, trad life.
I've never heard that. What is
traditional that? Woman, traditional wife. She cooks at home, raises kids.
No one says trad life.
Baby, everyone says trad wife.
No.
Y'all. Yes, they do.
No.
This is literally a term. I'm gonna argue with you. Because it's actually a term is trad wife.
On TikTok.
Everywhere.
Really?
It's blown up. It's an actual term now.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't believe you.
Are you for real?
Yeah. No.
Y'all, trad wife is actually a thing. It's shortened for traditional wife.
Gotcha. Traditional life or wife?
Wife.
Oh. Okay. What keeps you from wanting to live in Oklahoma?
I just feel like I'd be bored.
It is a little boring.
Like I just like love my friends here. I love there's like events. There's amazing restaurants.
There's events in Oklahoma.
Not the ones that are pertaining to my job. And Dallas is so central. Like you get on that airport, you can fly anywhere in 3 hours, less than 3 hours.
Oklahoma has an airport.
Yeah, but they're not nonstop flights.
So some of them are.
I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. I just don't think that would be my first choice.
No, it wouldn't be mine. I grew up there, so it'd be a little easier for me.
You know what, babe?
What?
I always think about this. So I saw this TikTok yesterday, and this girl was like, is there anyone else out there who just feels like sometimes they were born in the wrong city or they've lived in a city they've never actually lived in, but when they go there, they feel like this is home? That's how I feel about New York. I know. Every time I go there, I'm like, oh, I'm home. Like, I love it. I love the energy.
That's such a toxic.
I told you, I wish so badly we moved there for just like 6 months. I just think New York is so, I just think it's so.
I just think you're watching too much Netflix.
No, I don't. I don't watch Gossip Girl.
I lived there. I was the one who actually lived there.
I know, but like, don't you ever want to go again?
Not really. No.
We went for our.
It's such an inconvenient place to live.
I know, but you just do it for a short period of time.
Yeah, why? Just go on a vacation, get your fix, and then go.
There's something about it where like I want to be able to walk to my local coffee shop. I know the barista. What's up, Steve? Steve makes my classic. He knows my order. I have my same restaurants. I do my gyms. I walk to it. I'm the trendy girl with a tote and her Air Maxes. I don't know. There's something about New York that I just I mess with. I've always wanted to live there, and then until you came along.
We talked about it.
We did.
But we went there, and then we were like, yeah, this would be too difficult.
We did go there for Christmas, our first Merry Christmas, and it was a little difficult. But I think it's because we were over Christmas and like the town was dead.
Yeah.
But you know what I really want to do, babe?
What?
Sometimes I just want to pick up, and I just want to go to a new place. I'm like, let's move to Vermont. We don't know a single soul. We start over. The leaves are crispy. The water is sparkling. And we live in this beautiful new place. And we're just like, let's just start over.
You've been watching way too much TV, dude. Way too much TV.
I'm like, I want to move to Star Hollows and Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, you just need to go watch a TV show and then call it a night. No, yeah, we can get that experience in Oklahoma.
Bussy, no, we can't.
You can't call me Bussy.
Yes, I can.
No, you
yes, I can.
Guys, Jeanine has this like nickname for me. It's Bussy.
No, we call each other Buzz.
Jeanine will call me Bussy in public. And I'm like, Jeanine, no one, that doesn't make
literally.
It's like our inside joke, and she'll say in public. I'm like, Jeanine.
It just slips out. And he won't respond. Like he'll pretend like he doesn't even know me because he's like, I don't claim that name in public.
I'm embarrassed, yeah.
I'm like, Bussy.
Yeah.
And then it went, and oh no, here's the thing though.
No, stop.
No, in public he pretends he doesn't know me. And then when we get home, he's like, Bussy.
Stop.
Y'all, this is 1 year of marriage. Anyway, we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us on today's episode of Happy and Healthy Election Edition.
Election Day Tuesday. Go cast your vote. Be nice to your neighbor. Listen, if you're a Trump supporter, go buy someone a coffee who's a Kamala supporter.
Yep.
Kamala supporter. If you're a Kamala supporter, go give a Trump supporter a hug and just say, I love you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine someone?
I wonder what they would do.
Someone's getting punched on accident.
For sure. They'd be like, ew, stop invading my personal
space. They hate each other.
I know. Yo, quit hating each other. Love your neighbor. Go vote. And I guess we'll see what happens. Because when this podcast is up, it's election day.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll know soon.
Well, no, hopefully today.
I guess we'll see tonight. All right. Don't cancel us. We love y'all.
Yeah. Don't be mean to us. We are just two people with a microphone who don't know anything they're talking about.
That's not necessarily true.
It's kind of true.
We know a little bit what we're talking about.
A little bit. Not too much, though.
Okay.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, everyone's got a right to their own opinion and to use their voice.
It's the longest outro ever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like when you're dating someone and you're on the phone and you don't really want the conversation to end.
No, you hang up.
But you're trying to end on like a good note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is that moment.
I'm going to hang up first.
All right, you hang up.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. You hang up.
No, you hang up.